Hey there, everybody. It's Janet here. Uh, had a great inspiration today from one of my coaches to come on here and talk about that moment in time when I felt completely alone. And I'm wondering if this is something that would also resonate with you. So I thought it would be worth having this conversation today. So let me ask you, have you ever felt completely and totally alone in a crowd of people? Well, that is exactly how I have felt many times, but most recently at a coaching event that I attended. So I was surrounded by a group of heavy hitters, entrepreneurs who were making six and seven figures, and most of them were women. Now, the theme of this retreat turned out to be playing at a mediocre level. So here you have all of these successful people who were feeling as though they were mediocre. They were not measuring up. They were not hitting their full potential or making their biggest impact that they could possibly make. And, I definitely relate to that because I've always felt that I should be doing more, that I should be more successful, create more success, impact more people, reach new heights, and that I should be helping more and more people do that as well. But there was something about being in that environment that I couldn't shake. There was this feeling that I was coming at it now. Maybe it's just a new thing for me, but I was coming at it from a totally different place. And maybe I was walking a different path than a lot of these people. So, everyone was talking about scaling their business, what their social media strategies were going to be, what their profit margins are. But what I didn't hear was anything about God's work. What was their higher purpose? What was the work that they were doing that was feeding their soul? And I'm not saying that these women weren't interested in those things. I do actually think they were, but it just wasn't a theme that was coming out. It wasn't what was being shared in the room. And it was making me feel like the vibe was all about if it's to be, it's up to me. And yet I'm feeling more that if it's to be, it's up to God and me, right? Because am capable of doing a lot, but without God, I'm nothing. Every strength, every talent, every skill, every life experience that I've had has been a blessing given to me by God. So quickly realized that my path is different. And maybe it's the point of life that I'm at. Maybe you feel that way too. Now, in the past, I would have resonated with this concept of if it's to be, it's up to me. And to a degree, I think that is still true for all of us because we have to co create with God. So we have to show up, right? It's not going to happen just because God works a miracle. And it's also not going to happen just because I decide that it's going to, right? It's a co creation. And as a Christian woman entrepreneur, my business just isn't my business. It's the work that God is calling me to do. And it's a mission that I'm on to serve others and to stay true to my faith. And I think that for a lot of Christian women, this is presents some challenges. And so what are those challenges look like? Well, the first is exactly what I said, this feeling of isolation, like we're alone. Like I'm in a crowd of people, but I'm not resonating really with the whole crowd, right? I just feel kind of alone and isolated. And that isn't actually unusual because there was a study done by this Institute of Faith, Work, and Economics that figured out that 80% of Christian women say that their faith is influencing their business decisions. And yet that same faith is setting them apart from the majority of people who are in business with them as entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of, sort of they're isolated in a sea of secular strategies. And so the other thing is that it's difficult for us to balance our faith and our business. And so we're striving to integrate our beliefs into our work, but it's not always easy. There's a tension there that many women are feeling, or Christian women anyway. And then there's also the tension and the stress of what's going on in the world around us right now. And there is a total lack of support. And I think it goes beyond that. It's really a lack of tolerance for God or Christianity. And it's really difficult to find a thriving community of Christian entrepreneurs who will support one another in our faith. And, another study was done by the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs that 70% of their members are seeking a community, and they're seeking this support as a primary need for them to flourish and grow their business. So we crave connections, and we crave that connection with people who also are kind of have a dual goal of faith and being an entrepreneur, building a business. And I'm going to tell you that there is hope. And it was at that retreat, an event, that even amidst my feelings of being alone and isolated, that I had this epiphany and this realization that what I need, there's many, many other women who need as well. And that is a community of Christian women who are creating their businesses, their mission-based businesses or faith-based businesses. And so that I was on the right track because I've already started this community called WIN, the Women's Impact Network, and it is growing exponentially with Christian and faith-filled women. So WIN, the Women's Impact Network, is a haven where Christian women like us can connect with other like-minded women who share our values and understand what our challenges are. And it's a place where you will find mentors who have successfully integrated their faith into their businesses. So this isn't just theory, and it's not just a bunch of people sitting around thinking about, I'd love to be able to create a faith-based business. No, these are people who have already done that. They are already at multi-6 and 7-figure businesses. And so we offer that mentorship to one another because it is so critically important to help and support each other. In WIN, we will lift each other up in both our faith and in our business success. So, many women think that earning money and building a Christian business are mutually exclusive, that it's okay to create a little side hustle that's all about your faith, but that you can't create a big expansive business that impacts many, many people and brings in a lot of money, maybe $1 million, maybe multi-million dollars. That's all possible when you do it with the right tactics, right? So you need the right success path, and you also need the faith-based mentorship as well. So we bring it all together in WIN. And Jesus does want you to be rich. Jesus does want you to thrive. Jesus does want you to have the money to be able to go out and do the good works that you're called to do in the world. And look, we live in a secular world, right? We live in a world that thrives on regarding financial resources. We have to have financial resources. So in order for you to really fulfill your mission, you have to make money, right? Your business has to be successful. So my experience shows me that it is all possible, that it is time to bring God back into the business world. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Right? There's where this thing of if it's to be, it's up to me. Like, let's create a way that we become a force to be reckoned with again as Christians coming into the world. And even if these platforms have pushed God off, which they have, and God's been pushed out of the education system, he's been pushed out of the schools, pushed out of the workplaces, pushed out of the sporting events and the social, all on these platforms that we're on. But we have been given the God given right to choose Christianity, and we can promote Christianity, and we can create a business based on Christianity, and we can bring God into every single thing that we do. And if we do that, we're going to find that there's a lot of lonely, isolated people out there who are going to flock to join us. And that's what the Women's Impact Network is all about. So I'm going to invite you to join this movement of women. Join us in WIN. The link is here below, and come in and become part of our supportive community, and take that step and join us and discover the mentorship and the fact that you can create a faith-based business for yourself. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to being with you and growing with you and supporting you and nurturing you and creating the business that God has called you to create in the world. And we have a success path for you to plug into, and we're going to show you the steps. We're going to show you how to create 6 figures very quickly, 7 figures and more, if that's what you feel called to do. And it's all possible for you. So thank you for sharing with me today, joining with me today, and I will see you on the inside at the Women's Impact Network. Bye for now.